Look at almost any major street in a rapidly growing city in the global south. You will see cars parked bumper to bumper, buses trapped in traffic, motorcycles squeezing through gaps, and pedestrians negotiating survival. And yet, most of people on that street are not inside cars. Globally, in many developing cities, 50 to 70% of daily trips are made by walking, cycling, or public transport. But 60 to 80% of road space is allocated to private vehicles. That's not congestion, that's design decision. We built streets for machines and then wondered why humans feel unwelcome. This is the third episode of the Module 5 under the title The Future of Urban Mobility theme, from electric tuk-tuks to walkable futures. All the 5 modules are parts of my first course on YouTube with the title Urban Transportation in Developing Countries. Follow the course if you like the topic. In this episode, you will see how streets in developing cities are designed for cars, even though most people walk, cycle, or use public transport. I will break down the numbers behind space inequality, safety, congestion, and climate, and explore how human-centered street design can transform mobility, equity, and everyday urban life. I'm Bushman Masumi, it's Urban History. Historically, streets were marketplaces, social spaces, playgrounds, and economic engines. In many African and Asian cities, informal vendors and pedestrians still use streets as public space. But modern transport planning turned streets into car corridors, speed channels, and parking lots. In many cities like Nairobi, Dhaka, and Lagos, pedestrians represent 30 to 50% of total road users and account for 30 to 40% of traffic fatalities. The people most present on streets are often the least protected. Apparently, walking is the most popular activity we forgot to plan for. Let's quantify the imbalance. A single traffic lane carries about 1,000 to 2,000 cars per hour, but can carry 7,000 to 10,000 people per hour by bus, and even more by high-capacity transit. Yet many developing countries allocate multiple lanes to cars, none to buses, and 0 to cyclists. If just one lane were converted to bus rapid transit, capacity could multiply several times. Instead, cities widen roads, which induces more traffic. Adding lanes to reduce congestion is like loosening your belt to solve overeating. Human-centered planning is not anti-car. It means prioritize safety over speed, prioritize people over vehicles, and prioritize access over throughput. Data shows reducing vehicle speeds from 50 km per hour to 30 km per hour drastically lowers fatality risk. Traffic calming can reduce crash rates by 20 to 40%, and protected bike lanes can increase cycling rates by 50 to 200%. Human-centered design is measurable, not symbolic. Turns out humans survive better at 30 km per hour than 70 km per hour. Shocking. Bogota's Ciclovia closes over 100 kilometers of streets every Sunday for pedestrians and cyclists. The result? Over 1.5 million participants weekly. Paris removed car lanes and cycling skyrocketed. In many Indian cities where temporary pedestrian zones were tested, foot traffic increased, retail sales often increased, and congestion did not collapse the city. When you change space allocation, behavior adapts quickly. People didn't suddenly become anti-car. They just discovered alternatives. Here is the key insight. Many cities in the global south are still expanding, still building new corridors, and still redesigning streets. They are not locked into 100-year-old car-dominant infrastructure. That means bus lanes can be planned from the start, sidewalks can be integrated early, and cycling networks can be built affordably. Retrofitting is expensive. Designing correctly from the beginning is cheaper. It's easier to paint a bus lane before the traffic jam gets emotional. In many developing cities, street vendors occupy sidewalks, informal transport clusters at intersections, and pedestrians cross wherever practical. This is not disorder, it's a signal. Where demand exists, where services are missing, and where formal design failed. Human-centered planning means designing around real behavior, not forcing idealized diagrams onto reality. If everyone ignores the crosswalk, maybe the crosswalk is wrong. Human-centered streets reduce accident costs, reduce healthcare expenses, increase retail activity, and reduce congestion through modal shift. Road traffic crashes cost countries up to 3% of GDP annually. Improving pedestrian safety alone can generate measurable economic gains. Streets are not just transport corridors, they are economic infrastructure. Nothing boosts productivity like not being injured. So, if human-centered streets are safer, cheaper, and more equitable, why aren't they everywhere? Because car ownership is aspirational, political resistance is loud, and short-term backlash scares decision-makers. Reducing lanes feels radical, but data shows that traffic often stabilizes, mode share shifts, and streets become more predictable. The loudest voice in traffic are usually the ones inside the most metal. Transport contributes about 25% of global CO2 emissions. Human-centered streets support walking and cycling, increase public transport efficiency, and reduce short car trips. At the same time, they improve mobility access for low-income residents, improve safety for vulnerable users, and reduce exposure to pollution. Climate and equity align here. Sometimes the ethical choice is also the practical one. Who knew? Public transport efficiency depends on bus priority, safe pedestrian access, and reliable corridors. Electric mobility depends on safe infrastructure and rational space allocation. Active mobility depends on protected lanes, traffic calming, and sidewalk continuity. The street is where policy becomes physical, priorities become visible, and inequality becomes measurable. You cannot fix mobility without fixing streets. Urban transport reform without street reform is just PowerPoint with traffic. Now let's bring this back to your city again. Who does your street serve most? Cars, buses, or people? How much space is given to walking? Would reducing one car lane cause chaos or improve flow? Are there areas that could become human priority zones tomorrow? And the big question, if your city redesigned just one major street for humans instead of vehicles, what would change first? Traffic, business, or public life? The future of urban transport in the global south is not just electric, it's spatial, and space is political.